All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders. You never know when I'm going to show up, man. I got a little froggy tonight, and I said, let's just do this. Let's get this Neptune out of the way. Let's get this Poseidon out of the way. The mighty Poseidon, the Neptunium. What's your question? Number 93. January 9th, 2025. A lot of stuff going on the world stage, which I'm really kind of oblivious to. I have to have people tell me what's going on. I don't really follow the mainstream, and I'm happy that I don't. Honestly. So today's card, ladies and gentlemen, is the Five of Spades. The Five of Spades, January 9th. Today's date is the birthday of the amazing guitarist from Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page. Today's his birthday. Five of Spades. And I have a little sneak peek on, well, not sneak peek. I have some one-hit wonders that I'm going to do tonight. I got about 10 slides, just all different topics. And I went into the folder and there was Jimmy Page with Led Zeppelin, and this is his birth card, and today's the Five of Spades. So there you go. And I didn't plan that, but of course it's all scripted, so it doesn't matter. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that you're here. Grateful that you're here. Last minute. So let's see what kind of questions we can get into tonight. Following up a really great, what's your question, number 92. Doing some uranium. Tonight is all about Neptunium. And if you've been paying attention, you know that Neptune, Poseidon, the Greek god of the earth, the water, because of course Zeus, his brother, got the heavens. So, of course, where's Poseidon going to reside? On earth, covering the waters. And then his other brother, Hades, got the underworld. Those three. And we know from the connections that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva is Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades. I mean, it's just so easy. Hades, Shiva, the destroyer. Brahma, Poseidon, the creator god. And why Brahma and Poseidon? Because we're made up of water. You know, it's very interesting, folks, because if you take the number 93, today's What's Your Question, number 93. If you take that there, how many tarot cards are there? Typically 78 if you count the Fool as a card, or if you count it twice as card 22. So all we do, anytime you get if you get a number above 78 and you want to know what tarot card it is, you just take the number in question and you subtract the total amount of tarot cards. So all you have to do is 93 minus 78 is what? 15. And now you have Poseidon, Brahma, being tied to the devil. That's right. And these connections are, to me, are just kind of humorous, but they're undeniable. Now that we have the layers really in sequence, and we can see, it's always in that trinity, the Trimurti in the Hinduism cosmology. It's always these threes. So, you know, again, how does a culture such as the mighty Greeks, how does a culture come up with, and people then say, oh, that's not real, it's a myth. But then they create a story in theology and say, oh yeah, there was a real dude named Jesus, and there was a real devil, and there was, when you're just doubting that there's a real God named Poseidon. And then over in India, there's a real God named Brahma and Vishnu. Why do people that are really heavily into their religions, why do they have to slander and hammer these other cultures that they're telling you the same story? It's just, see, this is the great reveal, folks, that it's a Ponzi scheme, and everything is all everything. Because if you start studying the historicity of these cultures, I mean, I've done the historicity on them. I mean, all I can do is do the research. I wasn't there, but when they wrote the Torah, they were writing the constellations. Ptolemy and the Hesiod and the Eliads, they were writing their poems about the Greek gods. And down in India, they were writing about Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Krishna, and all that stuff. So who's got it right? Everybody. That's the great reveal. That will be the great reveal, folks. That it's just a Ponzi scheme and everybody has it all. Everybody's got it right. And then we could just hug and shake hands and just call it a day. And it's like, oh, now what are we going to do? It's like the ending in Truman Show. The ending in Truman Show, they were all, except they're glued to the screen. They can't wait to see. And then he walks through the doorway and they're like, okay, what's on now? What are we going to watch now? Like the ending comes to the show you've been binge watching. And what are we going to watch now? After you're done watching, now you're looking for your next show. If you're a fan of movies and shows, that's what we do. You may not binge watch, but that's what we do. And if you're not watching shows, you're watching real life. You're watching other people's lives unfold. So it's amazing. And again, folks, it's all about this orgasm. And that's why sex is so big in this reality. Both big in our own personal lives, the way it feels, and then how it's portrayed on the screen, and it's portrayed in religion. You know, Genesis, God saying, go multiply, replenish the earth, go multiply, create your offspring. Why? That's why sex is so revered, and why the phallus and all that stuff is such a big deal. And, you know, it's really all about multiplication and duplication. All right, so let's get into some of your questions now. Let's see what I can come up with there. Johnny Pereira da Silva says 93 is Saturn. Well, maybe a numerology cipher, but there's Saturn's 21, and Saturn is a Roman name. It's actually Kronos, and Kronos is actually 96. Who gets the seniority? The Greeks do. If we're going to go historicity, the Greeks are going to get it because they're the ones that came up with these deity names, not the Romans. So go back to the origin. It's Kronos. It's not Saturn is a Roman name. I'm not saying you can't use it, but who would get seniority? The Greeks. Kronos. And that's a 96 in the Greek numerology, using the ancient Greek. Neptunium, the reason why I say Neptune is 93 is because on the periodic table, Neptunium is the 93rd element. But Poseidon in Greek numerology is 112. It's 112 in the full numerology. Lovestocks is asking, does your code ever change? It changes every second, every minute, every waking hour, every sleeping hour. It always changes. It's changing right now. You just don't know it. But if you're asking, does my code change based upon my screenplay? No, I don't think so. What you got is what you got. Even if you say, oh, I'm going to go this route, that route's already selected for you. Nicholas is asking a question on anti-natalism or natalism. Now, those of you, if you don't know what that is the concept of not supposed to have kids. I think that's what. Let me just double check. I'm almost sure that's. Yeah, procreation is unethical. So how do I feel about that? Well, you know, I've talked about this before. And this was from my friend, so I'm just regurgitating this. But this was an amazing viewpoint. I mean, this was a slam dunk viewpoint. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can't have children, like there's something wrong, or maybe you're a little older and you don't want to risk it, so you go adopt. How can you adopt a kid? Well, you have to go through a ton of vetting. You have to fill paperwork out. You have to qualify to have a child. But not natural childbirth. Anybody can have a kid. There's no rules on that. But you see, when I was in Colombia, I really experienced this firsthand. This is when it really hit me in the face. There was a mall in Colombia where I was staying in Barranquilla in the northern part. And there was a mall that I would go to every day. The gym and the grocery store were there. So I walked there. And every day, for the most part, I go there. And these girls that are really young, they're almost every day they're out there with their kids, with their young kid in their arms, asking for money. And I mean, I'm assuming, right? Because I don't know the whole story, but why are you doing that? And then having your kid there with you. So my take is, folks, is that there are a lot of people that are not qualified to have children. They just can't keep it in their pants. So they're not planned. So they have the child, and yeah, I think that's unethical, right? If you don't have the funds to raise a kid, if you don't have the environment to raise the child ethically, why are you having one? A lot of kids get born by mistake, but there's no such thing as mistakes. So that kid's going to get raised in that environment for a specific reason. It may end up forging their fires, and a lot of people, they are born in a really nasty environment, and that forged their fires to become a great person and a great leader. But totally ethically, if we want to adopt, you got to get vetted, but not to have I've seen a lot of people, I'm like, how, can't even believe you have children. Like, you got 3 or 4 kids, and it's like, I don't know, man. So anyway, it's just crazy that if you want to adopt, not just anybody can just go down and get a kid, but anybody can just sit there and have sex and make a baby. I just think that's not ethical, but that's my opinion. RM says, I'm adopted and I agree, but our adopted parents could be no better. True. I mean, there is this, obviously the state and whoever's in charge of that whole system, which I know I'm ignorant in that area, but even with the vetting process, at least they're doing that. The parents can turn the tides, they can become alcoholics after they have the kid, or they fake it, I know there is that kind of thing, but at least they do that. But I see tons of parents, they, like, you were to ask them, like, why you got a kid? Like, you're barely scraping by, and you're barely making it, and you're pumping out, like, you can't keep in your pants. Like, that's really what the answer is. They would tell you, well, I just, I had to get off, and I didn't pull out soon enough, or whatever. I don't know. But again, this was my friend's idea, and I was like, that was really profound. And I told her, I'm like, wow, you got to really write about this, because it's really profound. I never thought about that. Like, why do we have to get vetted to adopt a kid, but not to have a kid? Lucy says, so many of my high school friends have children with no parents anymore. Yeah. CJ says having kids is selfish. I totally agree. Obviously, those of you that are here as parents, you would disagree. And yeah, I respect that. I'm not here to prove you wrong. I'm not here to say you're wrong. You got to do what you got to do. But I think, well, why would I say having children is something? Not for every single person, obviously not. But like, I've said this before, and I know I'm going to probably get somebody to unsubscribe or give me some nasty comments. Happened before, but I've said it, and I'll say it again. If you have a kid, you're on the hook for their death. It doesn't matter if your life is screenplay is scripted and all that. You're supposed to have a kid, but if that child suffers, it's your fault they're suffering. Oh no, it's not my fault. You're the one who humped and brought them into this world, didn't you? Yeah. Well, you see, if you didn't hump, if you kept it in your pants and you didn't have a kid, well, then you wouldn't have to go through the suffering they go through. And then if they die before you die, who's on the hook for that? Not them. It could have been avoided by not having a child, right? But again, I mean, I'm being very extreme here, but I'm also the guy to tell you that if you can go to the gym and work out and you don't, I call you selfish. I'm not telling you have to go be a bodybuilder or a competitive athlete, but I'm just saying to go in there, at least, not to the gym, at least exercise. If you can exercise and you don't, I say you're selfish. You got to take care of this thing, right? It's not going to take care of you if you don't take care of it. And why I say that is because there are a lot of people that just don't give a shit about their temple, and they treat it like shit. And then when it comes time for the body to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. You know what happens? The people that care about you, they have to stop what they're doing in their life to take care of you. Where if you would have just taken care of yourself by prevention, you may have avoided that. But no, people, and then the family members that really love you, they're going to stop and they're going to worry. They're going to stop what they're doing, and they're going to some of them have to spend money and give you money to treat you for your medical bills, all because you didn't take care of your temple. I just call that selfish. Again, that's just, I'm keeping it raw, and those are my truths. So, okay. Spiritually Lucky is asking, what's in the cards for this upcoming full moon, aka wolf moon? The wolf, there's the wolf moon right there. But this is loosely based, right? The wolf card in the medicine deck's the 15th card. I don't really know much about it. I haven't really looked at it, to be honest. As much as I look at astrology, I'm super busy, and it's not like I'm like glued to the chart all the time. So I haven't really given it any thought. Bruce Lee is asking, I knew this would come up. Are the fires in LA's God's wrath? It's just, how about we just chalk it up to fires? You know what? I got to tell you, this is, again, how I see things. I'm not paying attention to it. I tuned into it a little bit yesterday because, LA is like, I have a love for LA. I lived in LA for a long time. I have friends there. So I checked in on my friends that I knew maybe have got affected and all that. So everybody's cool, but I don't want to give it energy. I don't want to tune in. I'm not trying to get likes or subscriptions. I'm not going to do a podcast on it so people can tune in. Oh my God, the hot topic. People are having to deal with some serious consequences over there. Is it God's wrath? You could say that, but how about it's just a fire? They're fires, and they're Santa Ana winds, strong winds, 80, 90 mile an hour winds blowing through that area, tossing these embers. And, people say, oh, they started the fires. You don't know that. See, this is the stage that we're at in our reality. And I'm not saying that it wasn't that way, but this is the stage we're at. It's because the people are so fixated on this and that, and they're doing this and this modification. It's automatic that when something happens like this, oh, it was man-made. It was now. Granted, there is some arson going on, so it could be that for sure. Could be arson, but I'll tell you this: mankind's mind is not their own. So you want to say it's God's wrath? Sure. But when you start looking at with the area, Pacific Palisades and all, come on, man, you know how many superstars live over in that area? That's the ritzy area, man. Do you think they're just going to burn all their stuff down themselves to do it to themselves? No. And I know then they say, oh, it's LA, and they had it coming because of all the dirt and all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. Maybe. But you don't know that. You're just regurgitating that. How about just leave it alone, man? If you want to do your prayers and you want to and do make sure people are safe and all that stuff, that's totally cool. But for me, tuning in and focusing on it and focusing on it and focusing on it and focusing on it, you know what it does? It feeds it, because that's how magic works. So I already know that. I don't want to feed it, so I don't really want to tune in. And of course, people love the dirty laundry. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, oh my God. So they just love it. They love it. And there's all these people sharing, and they're feeding it, and it's making it worse. That's how magic works. The fires are going to go out when they go out. This is not something they had the campfires many years ago. They've had fires. There's tons of fires that happen there. This is just obviously the worst one. I'm not surprised, this year, 2025, I mean, it's the Ten of Swords. This is the head of the snake. This year, and we're at the end of January, when we go into the year of the snake, we are moving into the head of the snake. Yep. The card that governs this year, 2025, for the Gregorian calendar is the 60th card in the tarot, which is tied to the words head of the snake. That's what the whole entire 2025 is going to be. Right here, this card. This is the head of the snake card. This one. This is what we're dealing. And folks, it's not doom and gloom, man. The best thing you can do is turn that damn mainstream off. It blows me away how many people want to tune into it. I don't know. I like to be oblivious to it. I like to be in my own little bubble. I don't care. Not that I don't care about people, but I don't want to. What am I going to do about it? I live in Mexico. I'm in Mexico. How am I going to help? You know how I'm going to help? By not tuning in. That's how I'm doing my part. Because I know how magic works. I know how it works. I know how the transfer of energy is. So if I want to do my part, I'm not going to tune in. And if I do tune in, it will be a very short amount of time. And I've even learned, like, decoding it, yeah, when it's over and done with. So now I'm not feeding it anymore. The story, it gets fed, but the whole incident and the real time, you're not feeding it anymore. But, I like to be oblivious at this point. I want to live in bliss as much as I can. That's just, and I hope I inspire some of you to be the same way, where you'll turn it off. And you won't feed it anymore. And you won't get afraid. See, how can you get afraid if you're ignorant? Like, I don't know what's going on. How can you, where's the fear in that? There's no fear because I don't turn it on and see it. The possibilities, I don't turn it on. And now, like, everything that's happened since 2020, you know what happened on the world stage, that whole big thing that happened in 2020, something comes like that now, it's like, turn it off. And even if you have to participate, there's no fear. But I watch a lot of you. I see what a lot of you are doing, and you say that you're not involved in the mainstream, and you're just you're embedded into it. And again, I'm not saying that's wrong, and I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong, and I would never say that. I'm just simply pointing out that what you are doing, what some of you are doing, is you're feeding those stories and making them bigger. The shares and the comments and the likes, you're feeding the AI, which is collecting all this information. On top of that, from magic, you're making it worse. I mean, why can't you just turn it off and walk away and not look at it anymore? I'll tell you why, because it's a fix for a lot of you. It's a drug. You're addicted to the dirty laundry. For a lot of you here watching this, and again, I want to be clear, I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. I'm just merely telling you that a lot of you are addicted to getting your dopamine and your surge in your brain's activity by watching, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. Did you see what happened over there? Oh my God, this person, you get off on that. You get off on gossip. A lot of you love to gossip, and you don't mean it. And I know you don't mean it. And guess what? We're all guilty of it. So I'm not saying I'm like the innocent guy, like, oh yeah, Logan, you think, no, I'm not innocent to all this kind of stuff. I catch myself. It's still a work in progress. But I'm being authentic to tell you here, all channeling this message to tell you. It's a work in project. But at the same time, the best thing you can do is turn that stuff off. Just turn it off, man. Go help somebody in your local neighborhood. That is what's going to make a mark in this reality. Stoner Steve says it's like a bad car crash. Can't look away. Yeah. How many times do you get stuck in traffic? How many times as every one of us here driven on the freeway and you're stuck in hours of traffic and you finally get to the accident? And it's just like a fender bender. And you're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? That is what held this freaking traffic up? And you're pissed, right? I get it. That's the emotional reaction that we have to these situations. Because it's like, again, it's unethical to rubberneck. It's not even ethical to sit there in traffic for 2 hours because somebody bumped into somebody. It's an unethical way of living, but this is what we do. We don't have ethics when we're stuck in traffic because people get angry. People got places to go. I got an appointment to get to. I got to go show a house. I got a dentist appointment. I got to go meet a friend. I'm supposed to pick somebody up. And you're stuck in traffic. And by the time you get there, you're like, oh my freaking God, are you kidding me? And so we get angry. Emotional reactions. Whereas what we should do, woosah, baby, neutral. Like, I get it. That's what we should be practicing, but we don't do that as human beings. We get to the accident and we get angry. What an idiot. You're an idiot. What are you doing? You know, like that kind of stuff. That's what we do. Because we got places to go. We got people to see. That's the society we live in. The programming is that way. If it's a hot topic, we share it. If it's a dirty topic, we share it. If it's an ugly truth, we share it. Oh my God, you're never going to believe this. If it's an unbelievable situation, we share it. Got to tell somebody. Why? Because you get a reward from that. Oh my God, I didn't know. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, you got to check this out. You didn't know what happened? You got to check this out. And you share it, and now that person attaches to you, and you're like, oh, thanks for showing me. And now it's like the reward. What's the reward? I told you about it. You didn't know about it. I'm the one who did that. Oh, great. Let me pat you on the back because you told me about it. I'm being ridiculous right now, but this is kind of how our reality works. And we're all guilty of doing these ridiculous things. Nicholas Hernandez says it's difficult to wake people up. Well, here's the thing. Here's a suggestion. Stop trying to wake people up. Like, try to work on removing that from your vocabulary. Like, don't even talk about, oh, I stopped waking people up, or it's hard waking people up. Remove the whole waking up from your vocabulary. You can apply it to yourself, but remove it from your vocabulary, where it's not even in your vocabulary anymore. Because then it's not in your presence anymore. When you turn the mainstream off, it's not a part. You're severing ties, folks. That's what you're doing. You're severing the ties that are corded to you. Because you're like, no, I'm done. Enough. So I don't need to. I don't want to be part of that movie anymore. Lane is asking a good question. She says, it's an easy question, Lane, to answer, but it's a good one. Lane says, you say everyone is right. That's what I say. Everybody here is right. But I know Christianity to be false. This is what Lane thinks Christianity is false. So how can Christians be right? Because they think they're right. So it may be wrong in your viewpoint, in your world, You're the one having this experience. You're projecting everything else around you. You're the star of this show. So if you think that Christianity is not the right path for you, I would also suggest to stop saying that they're wrong or it's wrong. Because now you're not living a life of neutrality. Now you're polarizing yourself. Christians are not wrong. And you're not wrong for thinking that they're wrong. You're right, and so are they. Everybody, this is the greatest revelation I've ever had. Everybody's right. How can everyone here thinks they got it all figured out. And if you don't think you got it all figured out, but You're going to go and do what you got to do. You're going to go live out your truth. We may have a conversation here and you're like, at the end of the day, you turn us off. Oh yeah, well, I don't agree with 100. Not everybody agrees with everything I say. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm wrong? Of course it does. And not everybody has it figured out. There is not one person in this entire world, if we laid all their truths out and we started to pick them apart, there would be errors in their truth. Every single person on this planet would not have 100% on their grade. Not one person. Nobody has it completely figured out. Nobody has it 100% right when it comes to somebody looking at that and grading it. If you had to grade somebody's truth one by one, you would pick out what you would call discrepancies. Or you would say, oh yeah, I know. Pretty much everything I agree with except for this, this, and that. And the person that has the discrepancies will say, well, you're an idiot. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Here's all the data. Here's all the support. Yeah, but I still don't believe it. Oh, well, and then, see, that's not live and let live. Live and let live, ladies and gentlemen, is not debating, not arguing, not defending your truth. Just doing you is live and let live. So if you don't agree with Christianity, let the Christians go do what they got to do. They're just programmed to do it anyway. It's a program. That's all it is. I mean, saying a Christian is wrong is saying that if you have an Android phone, well, Apple is wrong. What do you mean? Yeah, I have an Android phone, and Apple, you're wrong. You don't have it right. Yeah, but I got a cell phone, and it operates. And I can call you. How does that correlate to Christianity? People say, I got a religion. I got people in my congregation. I got people in my church, and they all agree upon the same topics. It's an organization. We have money coming in. It's a business. So it's the same thing as Apple versus Android. Why are people, are you going to tell me that an Apple is better than an Android or an Android is better than an Apple? That's like saying being a Baptist is better than being a Protestant, or being a Baptist is better than being Jewish. That's ridiculous. Because ultimately, an Apple phone is the same as an Android phone. They make phone calls and it's a smartphone. Religions are the same. Can't you see that? Religions, 10,000 of them, they're all the same. They're a cell phone. Cell phones make calls and you can log onto the internet and do all the things that a smartphone can do if it's a smartphone. So religions can do the same thing. I have a God, I believe in gods, I believe in this, I believe in that. Well, okay, I have functions on my phone on this one, but you don't have the functions on your phone. My phone's better because I got better functions on it. It's a better phone. It's a bigger screen. It still makes phone calls and it's a smartphone. It does the same thing. I can log onto the internet. There's no difference. So why are we debating? Why are we arguing and saying people got it wrong? They don't. Everybody has it right, even if you don't agree. Alonzo, what's up, brother? Alonzo says, listening to Logan is also a program. Bingo. Absolutely. So you're here because you like some of the things that I have to say, or whatever reason. But you don't agree with everything I say. You don't agree with, come live in my life. Come do, and you would find things you'd be like, I wouldn't do that. So is it wrong? Because you wouldn't do what I do on a daily basis? That is how how anal and ridiculous we can get with talking about religions and organizations, and that's how ridiculous it can be. Yeah, Lisa says comparing apples to oranges, they both have nutrients. Exactly. The oranges have more of this. The apples have more of that. Apples have pectin. Oranges don't. I don't think. But I know the apples have pectin. The oranges are known for their vitamin C. But I mean, bananas, I think bananas have more, is it bananas have more vitamin C? And what other fruits have more vitamin C? But anyway, they're all, it's just food, man. Fruit and vegetables and this and that, it's food. It's a category called food. Why are we arguing about food? Why we argue about religion? Because why? Because your ass is on the line? Because you're not gonna make it? It's a story, ladies and gentlemen. It's a program inside this matrix. That's what it is. Ultimately, that we're all just programs inside this reality. Apocalypse Now says, too many contradictions from you. People in LA don't have a choice but to tune into the mainstream for their own safety. That's totally fine, but that's where they live. So there's no contradiction here. If you live in that area and you need to get information and you know that your news station's going to provide that to you, then you're going to tune in. But Magic 101 is, whatever you pay attention to, you feed. Why do you think the Super Bowl commercials are so expensive? Because there are more eyeballs on that game during those times than any other time. So the eyeballs are giving magic to the products being marketed during the Super Bowl. That's just magic. So there's no contradiction with the fire, what I said. If you don't live there, why are you tuning in? If you live in, like where I'm at, if you live in Portugal, if you live in North Carolina, if you live in Maine, why are you tuning into that? Because it's a fix for you. This is how human beings are programmed. And again, I'm not saying that disrespecting, and I'm not saying it to belittle. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm merely giving you how this reality works from what I'm supposed to be saying here. The time that you're spending on gawking at the screen and, oh my God, and you're paying attention, what could you, is there anything constructive about that? No, there is nothing constructive unless you do something about it. Unless you go there, like there was people that are going there to help or something like that, that's different. But if you're in Maine and you can't do anything to help the situation, you're taking away from a situation that you can be constructive at. Like what I'm doing right here and answering questions and influencing and telling you some things, this is constructive energy. We could all just turn off right now and all just say, hey, I'll meet you on whatever, KTLA, and I'll meet you on that news station. And we all go there and we're just sitting there gawking at what's going on. Where's the construction going on? How are we going to make a difference by watching that stuff? You can't. You have to sacrifice what we're doing right now, which is constructive, and move into something that is not going to be constructive at all by watching it. If you can't do anything about it, you take time away from your day to focus on something you can't do at all. There's nothing you can do other than that you're feeding it and making it bigger. I mean, it's real common sense. Lisa S. is asking, do you ever feel we will ever meet the programmers? Maybe. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't have an answer for that. I just don't know. Perhaps. Nicholas is saying, is there a leopard? No, that's a jaguar. Jaguar behind me. Stoner Steve says, without drama and gossip, people wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Yeah, exactly. And we're all guilty of it, right? Where there's gradients of getting out of that. There's gradients of removing yourself from that program. I'm telling you, man, this reality, this program that we live in, it's a fix for people. You know, I used to get my fix from watching sports and cheering for my team. I come from Connecticut and Boston, like, you know, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, Patriots. It's a great town to be born in for sports and bragging rights. Red Sox. I went through all those years of the ups and downs, a lot more ups than downs. What do you get from it? I don't have any stock in the team. They don't send me any dinners. I don't go to dinner with any of the stars. It's bragging rights. It's a my daddy can beat up your daddy kind of thing. It's all a matter of its resistance. It causes ATP, causes energy exchange. Sports does. It's entertainment, right? But when you sit there and you watch a football game for 2 hours, is it constructive? If you're a gambling person, maybe. But if you just watch it, and in your chair, it's entertainment. That's all it is. Just like watching a show. Is a movie constructive? It can be. There's maybe a message in there for you. There could be a message at a football game, but mostly sports is just all entertainment and a distraction. I mean, this entire reality is a distraction. If you take and close your eyes right now there's no distractions. I have 0 distractions right now because I can't see anything. I'm in the dark. The only distraction I have now is my imagination, but I'm talking right now, so I'm not really thinking about that. So these little devils, man, that's the black suns you have, those are the little devils. It distracts you. And the program, the matrix, tries to get you to interact with it based upon the reward of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, the feel-good things in your brain, and the programming of getting the fix of watching the news. And then you have these energy exchanges of you have compassion and love, like, oh my God, I'm so sad for these people. That's just being a human being. It comes with the territory. But that's engaging with the program of this entire reality. And this entire reality is a program. That's why we can say it's a simulation. Valley J says, please read Stuart Wilde. Stuart Wilde's awesome. I've read a lot of his books. He's great. My favorite book of his is the Infinite Self, 33 Steps. That's his best book, I think. Lane says, I feel bad for the animals. Yeah, that's what I thought about when I first heard about it. But the animals, of course, they're instinctively going to run away from that. They know what to do. They don't have to be told to evacuate. They just automatically do it. They're using instincts. That's why birds fly south and migrate. They're already programmed to do it. That's their programming. But human beings, no, they have to stick around and get involved with the gossip and the dirty laundry. And also there's the thing about, I got to save my house. I get all that part. So I don't belittle any of these situations, but Apocalypse Now says, why not care about what's happening to fellow brothers and sisters? I do. What do you think I'm doing right here, right now? And I spend countless hours giving myself to being a humanitarian. Is that not caring about fellow brothers and sisters? Unless you have some other definition on it. If I don't tune into the news, if I don't give it my energy, am I being disheartened? Am I like I'm a bad person? No. I'm choosing to focus my energy on helping people this way and doing readings and all that stuff. That's my code. But if you feel like you need to tune in to the mainstream and give it that energy and do it that way, then by all means do that. Don't listen to my opinion. My opinion is meaningless. But I care about a lot of people. I do it all the time. Constantly helping people. I've been doing this that as long as I can remember. Not this, but helping people. What's up, Sabrina? Sabrina says, you mean my glasses? Yeah, these are, my vision is horrible. Like right now when I take these off, everything is blurry. I just see like the lights just go brrr. So these are really, they're heavy. I'm getting another pair, plastic ones. My old pair, I got another, because they're lighter. But these are really heavy. These are metal, so I can't really wear them all the time. But I like wearing them. I wear contacts a lot, but you know they're not really the greatest for your eyes, and I wear them a lot. So I try to break it up a little bit. But my script is minus 10 and a half, minus 11. Yeah, and I don't even qualify for the laser. Maybe in the future, but last time I checked, which was a few years ago, I don't even qualify. So. Apocalypse Now says, the fires are overwhelming at the end of the day. So many firefighters risking their lives. Yeah, I understand that. And I have compassion and I have love for people like that. I have respect for that. But that's what they signed up for. That's what their code demands for them. That's what they got for their screenplay. That's their life. Right? I have my challenges, man. People aren't coming to rescue me. Just because I'm not in this huge fire and my house is not burning down. I got my own challenges. Don't think my life is just some red carpet. You know? So we all have our challenges in life. And again, I'm about what can I do constructively to help the world? Well, definitely not tuning into that and just being, sitting in there and listening to it for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and just, oh my God, where's the construction in that? I don't think there's any, it's not constructive. I mean, do you realize right now there are people starving and ready to die and collapse over in different countries of the world? They haven't had water in days. They haven't had food in weeks. They're about ready to die. And you could tune into that if you want to, and you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on some of these news stations. Where's the compassion for those people? Well, it's the mainstream's not covering it. But it's happening right now. People are being tortured right now. Animals are being tortured right now. People are being killed right now. It's happening, and it always happens. You can tune into it, and there's not a bottom to it. But there's no constructiveness to it. I can't do anything about that. All I can do is do my part, and I'm doing my part with these, what's your questions, doing readings for people, doing decodes, spending an ungodly amount of time in front of the computer to help the world, doing my part. I can't help some of those people that are in those environments that's happening to them. The next time you're sitting there and you're watching your show and you're cozy and you're eating your buttered popcorn and you're laughing and having a good time, just know that someone's being kidnapped right now. Someone's being molested. Someone's being killed. It's happening right now at the very minute you're sitting there eating your popcorn and enjoying your movie. You can't do anything about it, but it's going to happen, and it is happening. It's just part of this reality. Lane's asking about animals. Do I think they have a scripted reality? I would think so. It's all programs, right? Like, back on July 20th of 2020, I was visiting my family in South Carolina, my mother and father. And you know what was happening around that time frame, July 2020? It was starting to get a little bit testy. And I went for a walk one day down the road on this walk that I would do. And as I'm walking by the visitor center by South Carolina, I heard this little kitten meow. And there was this tall grass, and I went over and I looked, and what is there? There's this cute little, tiny little gray kitten with the bluest eyes, just sitting in the grass. And I'm like, I can't leave it. So I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, bring a box. So she came driving over, and now it's been her cat. His name is Grady. So we named him Grady. He's like this big, like he's almost 18 pounds. He's a Russian blue. He's beautiful. And it's her little mate follows around everywhere. Her companion, right? And when I decoded Grady, the name, just the voice in my head. And when I decoded the numbers, and my scripted reality, I think it was number 7, was highlighting that. My mom sent me Grady with a playing card next to him, and I decoded it, and I showed that was scripted. My mom has no idea. So animals come into our lives for a very specific reason. For protection or companionship, to ease the pain. So yeah, I would definitely say they're scripted. I know Grady was. Just the day that I found Grady is profound, the numbers. I'm not going to go into it, but it's all scripted. It has so much meaning to it. And that's where I find the beauty in it. The script. Because when I see the screenplay playing out and the numbers match up, and it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Despite because when I say scripted and it's predestined, people get angry. They get angry about that. A lot of people get angry. I don't know why. It's very relieving to know that you don't have control. It's very relieving, because when you try to add control, it gets frustrated, because control means expectations. And we know if you've ever expected something and it doesn't happen, you get frustrated, you get pissed off, you get angry, you get disappointed, you give off all these emotions. There are people in your life that you don't talk to anymore because you expected them to behave a certain way or to show up a certain day on a certain something, and they didn't, and you don't talk to them anymore. So now you've literally cut that line of love off because of the expectation. Where's the bonus? Where's the Some of you, that is absolutely true right now. Plasmonia is asking, have I looked into the upcoming blackout? What upcoming blackout? I would assume you mean the one that you think is coming, which maybe it's coming. You know, I live here in Mexico. The power goes out here just randomly. I've never seen anything like it. And it just happened last night. I was sleeping though. So but it's happened here. I can't even tell you, over the course of the time I've been here, it's happened so many times, countless times it happens, and it goes out hours, sometimes days. I don't know. So blackout, yeah, I mean, they're not fun in a humid, like this, in this area, it's humid, and you can't shower for a couple of days, and your skin is so sticky, and it's so unbearable to sleep and all that. I get it. But if there's a blackout coming, is it a permanent blackout? Here's the good news. How can it be? So we need to flip it on the optimism. If there's a blackout coming, it's not going to last. So we just focus on, I'll get through this. Instead of saying, hey, let's, oh, this damn blackout. And, it makes us more grateful as human beings, because you realize how much you appreciate the finer things in life. I'm talking about electricity, air condition, fans, lights. electricity, gas. When your power goes out for days on end, you get to be grateful. When it comes back on, you give a sense of gratitude. You give a little, oh, thank you so very much for coming back on. If you're at that consciousness, man, that's refinement. That's how I look at it. But I haven't, have I specifically looked at anything? I mean, I've talked about it with Jordan at Waters Above. Him and I have had, we've talked about stuff. And, and we've done our little statements on, we talked about the collapse that didn't happen in the time frame. That's why you're not going to hear me do predictions. I'm interested in the now moment. That's all I care. I'm interested in the now moment. And then, of course, when you book something, I got this Acapulco event next month. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's already set in stone. It's already the day. I'm already flying there, going there. So my days are going to be wrapped around that event. So it's something to look forward to, meeting people. It's going to be this and that. But I'm in it for the now moment. I'm not in it for 6 months from now, a year from now. I don't even know what the hell could be going on with my life at that point. But I know if something down the pike is going to come like a blackout, it's not going to last forever. That's the great news about it. What's up, Lena? Yeah, Lena says, I've talked about this in my lives. We have to be more conscious and aware of how easily influenced we are. Absolutely. Fire right there. We're all guilty of being influenced by something or some things. The day that you can be non-reactive when somebody starts screaming and yelling at you or calling you names, that's graduation. I've had to go sort through comments on my YouTube channel, and I've had to really refine myself because me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even a year ago, you'd see me, I'd be like, "Urgh." I've done that. I've like, "Urgh," and then I just delete it. I just want to get it out. I delete it. I've deleted so many comments that I wanted to comment. Now it's just I'm so calm and cool, collective on this. I see comments, even the nasty ones that you guys and gals never see. I'm like, thank you very much. So now I can just remove you, so your comments aren't going to show up anymore. Thank you for showing me that side of you. Saves me the trouble of I don't have to go find these people. They find me, and then I just go in and I just take their comment. You can take people's comments where they don't even show up. They can comment, but they don't show up anymore. I'm all about freedom of speech, but with respect and dignity and having ethics and morals. Yeah, that has to come with it. Especially with all the disclaimers that I put out on my channel. Ashara Jade's asking about Grady, the cat situation. Could I have left Grady without saving it and changed your reality? I don't think there's changing anything. There's just a lesson. There's an experience there. Okay, let's say I go back to 2020, to that experience, and I'm walking down the street and I hear the kitten, and I look in the bushes and there it is. And I'm like, oh, you'll fine. Your mom's gonna probably, your mom's around somewhere. But I thought maybe somebody dropped it off. That's where my mind went. I don't know. But I could have walked away, and then would it have been on my conscience? Depends how you're programmed. As a human being, some people have no conscience. They could have walked away from it, and that's it. That's their programming. But some of you here have a conscience, and you would say, I could never leave that kitten in the bushes. Out in the middle of nowhere, really on the side of the freeway. That's where it was. The main freeway that runs through a part of South Carolina that my parents are at. That's where it was. But changing it, I'm not in that mindset. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. That's what I'm supposed to do. Antheon says, I bet the worst comments come from, well, I'm not even going to say it, but religious people. Actually, no, they don't. The worst comments just come from random people that are just, they just don't like their life. That's the only thing I can think of. As they're just not satisfied and that a big thing is missing in their life. They probably just need a big hug. They just need to get a big hug from somebody, or sit down and just have a couple beers and just have a good laugh. Go to a stand-up comedy show. Just laugh it off. But they're just angry about their life. They're bitter, or maybe, you get the haters. They just don't have what you have, so they get jealous, and the way they combat that is they go in and they try to hammer you with their comments. Whatever. They're just doing their job. So again, I don't get affected by it. It's just like reading a comment and saying, well, I'm glad I'm not you. It makes me grateful that I didn't get that. I'm grateful that I got what I got and I'm not living through what you got. So you just flip it into gratitude. Always going to be into the gratitude aspect of it. Nicholas says the worst comments come from the LBG whatever. Well, again, if you're getting comments, it depends on what your content is, right? Like I'm everybody love everybody. Like it's one of my favorite movies is Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell. Everybody love everybody. That's my motto. Everybody love everybody. That's it. And if you can't be that person towards, you remain neutral. You're like, hey, I just don't really care for what you're doing. And that's it. Just go your other way. On average, Joe says they don't love themselves. They never made peace with themselves. Yeah, I mean, it could be a million different reasons. But again, you know what we do as human beings? We try to label, we try to box people in based upon what our assumptions are, our preconceived notions on what's going on with their life. But obviously, the basic fundamental is there's something in their life that they don't like. There's something there's something missing, whatever that may be. So again, for me, I get grateful that I'm not that person. Like that, I'm grateful that I got this and I'm not having to go through that, because that's like not a fun code to live through. So we could just flip it into gratitude every single time, and then we stop labeling and judging, and we all do that. It's just like a thing we do. That's in our inauthenticity. Arlene Vega says, I appreciate the encouragement. It feels peaceful listening to thee. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support and being here, wherever you're at in the world. Inner connection. Can you decode Carl Jung? I've never decoded him. I don't remember. I'll do something on the fly here. I don't remember what his, all I'm going to do is just look at his birthday. So he's got the July 26th birthday, which is he's got okay. That's interesting that he's got that. So he has, his birth card is the same birth card as Elon Musk. Are there similarities? Yep. Because the two of clubs, the two of wands, this card right here is the futurist. Anybody that has a two birthday, two life path, two is duality, yin yang. It's the card of the futurist. See, he's holding the world in the palm of his hands, or her hands, whatever. It's probably an androgynous being. This right here, I will tell you, this right here, this card, in theology, In Revelation 1 verses 8, God says, I am the Alpha and Omega. The very first time in the entire Bible, it's in the Greek scriptures, the first time that the Lord God says, I am the Alpha and Omega, Revelation 1 verses 8. That's what it is, 1 verses 8. And the one, let me show you what the tarot card, you want to see what it looks like? You want to see what Alpha and Omega looks like through the tarot? Of course you do. Here's Alpha. I am the Alpha, the predator. This is the cup that never ends. It's eternal, the eternal cup. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. See, the divine, the I am, the divine, you're the I am, I'm the I am, the divine's using me and you as an experience. It's using these two cards. I am the Alpha and Omega. This is the Omega, because you see, this card is the card of the spirit moving away from the spirit. This is an 8, Revelation 1 verses 8. The 8 of Cups from the 8 of Hearts. And this card right here is like going on a vision quest. If you get this card in the tarot, it's like someone will tell you, oh shit, you're walking away from something. Okay, well, put that in the context of the God, of the divine. What would the God be moving away from? Spirit. To come down to be a human being. It would do this. And it's going to, I am the Alpha, which is the never-ending cup. So the cup that's never ending combines with the vision quest, walking away and leaving the spiritual realm to manifest or incarnate into human beings. That's what the I am is. It's the Alpha and Omega. It's absolutely amazing, folks. I have that coming out on the Sun Becoming. It'll be out on the Patreon. Sun Becoming. That's God becoming. Alpha and Omega in Greek numerology is 79. From the original Greek. 79. That's gold. So what is it saying from a theological perspective? I am the Son becoming. And how do I do that? I'm going to go on a journey. I'm going to walk away from heaven. I'm going to walk away from spirit to go down into this reality. And I'm never going to leave, because the cup never ends. The cup's always filled. That's what it means. And then you have all the other placements that you can talk about. But that's the Alpha and Omega. And that leads to Ra. 1,000%. That the Alpha and Omega goes right back to Ra again. Yep. It goes back to Ra, and I will support that. So obviously, if you've been following along, Tower of Ra started with that. Then it was the Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, and we showed using 4 different Bibles, all different, that the God of the Bible is Ra. That's what it shows. It wasn't like, well, it was Ra in this one, but not in that one. No. In the Latin Vulgate, in the Greek Codex, the Sinaiticus, the Greek coin scriptures, in the Torah, and even in the Quran. It was all Ra. All of it. And that's why the United States White House is at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, because 1600 is the half-life of radium, which is Ra. And that's why Google has an address of 1600 Amphitheater Parkway, because 1600 is Ra. They're already tapped into it. So you would think, okay, well, collectively, they know what's going on. You can become aware of that. Third Eye Wizard asks, will you make an updated version of Decode Your Reality? I would assume you're talking about the video that was how to decode yourself. Well, that's no longer available. I have a course coming out called Spotlight, and it will be the most updated and revised version of how to break yourself down, and all the links will work, because the methodology that I'll be showing is not just using one website. Okay? All right, let's give you guys and gals some one-hit wonders. Let me just take you on a little journey here and give you some sneak peeks here. Just get my cursor. Okay, so I've been doing this a long time, where I came up with this idea. You've heard of this, like one hit wonders. One hit, like for music, right? You've heard those before. So I came up with this, and I've had a lot of success with this. It's a lot of fun. I have a decode just on this one hit wonder decodes, like just version number 1. But I'm just gonna give you a few. I thought it would be kind of cool to show you a couple of them. Let me start here. Now this is off of my Matrix 4 Decoded. And to show you that we live inside of a scripted reality. So you guys and gals know who these two actors are. Carrie Ann Moss played Trinity. Keanu Charles Reese played Neo. Here are their 2 birth cards. Trinity's got the 5 of clubs. Keanu's got the 9 of diamonds. What do you see on the cards there? 59, you see? How many beads in a rosary in Catholicism? 59. The 59th book in the King James Bible is James. The most popular Bible on the world stage is the Protestant King James Bible. The Bible called the King James, 1611. 66 books. What's the 59th book? Well, it's James, of course, because King James made it. 59 rosaries. See the connections? See, these 2 people, you think they chose their birth and they think they knew they were going to do this? No. No, but here we are with these 2. 59, tied to this guy right here. You know this guy right here? Aldo. There's his full name. I think he's from Amsterdam. Life is just a fantasy. This is his name, numerology. Yeah, hello. Big shout out to Roland, Decoder. Showed me this like years ago. It's been one of my favorites to show people. We're living in a fantasy. It's a simulation. It's a dream. That's why, folks, when you don't give it any energy, man, you move away from things. Life is just a fantasy. This is the tagline in his song. Right there, The Game of Life, 59. It's just a fantasy. This is just a fantasy. This was a fantasy. It wasn't real. You think you're living in a real reality? No, we're living in a simulation. It's a program. So his name is 56, which is lights, camera, action. And then his life is just a fantasy, which he sings over and over in that song. It matches the 59 for The Game of Life. Which is really interesting, because even this guy right here, William Shakespeare, said all the world's a stage and we are merely players. Well, look at that. You think he's in on a big conspiracy to get one past you? This guy? Oh, he's living a scripted reality. That's how big the 59 is. And of course, the root of that is 5. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. 5 sits in the middle of the dial pad of your calculator or your phone. 5 is the only number that looks like the letter S, as in sun. The 5th house of astrology is Leo, ruled by the sun becoming. Okay? It's spirit into matter. How about this one-hit wonder? The physical address of NASA. This is what they have listed on on their website. Right there it is. You don't think they're paying attention to Ra? Of course. Right there. Can't miss it. There you go. Right in Washington, D.C. How about this show right here? You ever heard of Altered Carbon? I watched a few episodes. I didn't really get into it too much, but there's the connection. So I will tell you positively that if people are using and they're coding movies, they're using Chaldean. If they're consciously doing it. That's why this is the most important cipher you can use out of any of them. Because it's the one that it's attached to the matrix straight up. Okay? Transhumanism, which is man and machine. Right? Man and machine is 44. This is going to have a root of the number 8. And the number 8 is the prison. It's the Taurus field. The yo-yo. The diabolos. How about Aquarius? The age of Aquarius. Transhumanism. Well, you see the logo right there? Well, this is how the circuit of a battery looks. Is this a thing? Well, think about it. Transhumanism, moving into machine. Is this a thing? And how old is this symbol? And does this have any merit to this? The flow of electricity. Man into machine, the electric circuit. How about currency? This is how big the 27 is. Language. See, we speak all these languages and they're all tied to currency. So the words are called magic spells. That's how big religion is and sports is, because it's all currency. But language is what we use to define things. So it's a big deal. And these are going to have a root of the number 9, and 9 repeats everything. So it never ends. So the currency and the language and these never end. That's why it's religion, because it's got a root of the number 9, and re means to do again, and to do again, and to do again, and to do again. Never ending. And then you have this one right here, right? Religion, tied to snake oil, tied to vampire. And vampires live forever, so they're eternal. They're eternal. Okay? That's how big this is. The 27. Tied to cobalt, tied to aluminium. And I told you I would talk about the Led Zeppelin. You know, this is where I tell and I say that the people don't have choices. These 4 guys, Bonham and Page, and these guys didn't have a choice. They were destined to become Led Zeppelin. Their name numerology, birth certificate, 241, the 53rd prime number. There it is. It's the I, which is the I am. The I, using these people, using you and I. 67 letters. 67 is the 19th prime number. That's the sun card. It's the I, the all-seeing I, the sun becoming. These guys did not have a choice when they formed Led Zeppelin. They were destined, as soon as they came out of their mother, it was already written for them to become musicians to form the band Led Zeppelin. It was already written for them. Already. Without question. And you can see the 241 on the Americium here. This is one of its isotopes. Its average is 243. But 241 is the first one that got made. So these are all clues and bridges. And the last one I have right here is that, this is why a lot of people say that we're never getting out of this reality. We're serving a life sentence. You get out when you die. You're serving a life sentence. Life is 17. Matrix is 17. It's your story. 17. It's the star card in the tarot. And then the sentence is the simulation. A life simulation, which is tied to prison planet. You see? Sentence, simulation, life simulation. That's what this means. Okay? Really, really easy. It's not that challenging to figure this stuff out now. Really. So those are the one-hit wonders that I had. I thought it'd be kind of fun. So I got so many more, but those are the ones I wanted to share. Grace is asking, why is the word harm in harmony? Well, phonetically, we don't say harmony, we say harmony. It's 2 syllables, actually 3 syllables, harmony. So even though the word harm in there, I don't look at it that way. It's harmony. Har is the first syllable. I'm not in agreement with people who say, oh, believe has the word lie in it. It's believe. Live, it's got the word live in it as well. People just like, people regurgitate these things. So harmony is harmony. I don't think the harm has anything to do with it, personally. So, I don't know how you say your avatar, ninths. I don't know, you have a number 9, and then are you trying to say peace with a 9 or something? So you have the 10 of diamonds. That's fortunate blessings. 10 of diamonds, Bob Proctor, Tom Brady, Prince, Michael Jackson, they all had the 10 of diamonds, but it means fortunate blessings. You're a 3 birthday, so that's expansion. If you just look at your birthday, what does the number 3 mean? Expansion. It's a broken 8, the number 3 is. So it wants to expand. It's forcing expansion. After it leaves, the 1 is I, the 2 is you and I, and then when I get kind of tired of you and I, where I kind of get bored, now I want to expand. I'm not belittling relationships, but I'm saying is when the shiny new toy wears off, you now want to expand into the 3. The 3 forces that. It's a pyramid, the octahedron or the tetrahedron. But the 10 of diamonds is a fortunate blessings card. That's what it means, fortunate blessings. So you got to look at your astrological chart. You got to look at your numerology. It doesn't mean you have a shoo-in for money and you become some superstar. No, you got to do a lot more digging than that. Because I know some 10 of diamonds and they are not wealthy. So it's not guaranteed you're going to have a massive amount of wealth. And I'll say this, folks, if you don't have a lot of money, why is that a bad thing? You know, the more you have, the more responsibility comes with it. Because you're not just going to sit on it. The more things you buy, the more things you're attached to. Like if we use this whole fire thing in California, right? You're at your house, and you have all this stuff in your house, right? Years and years and years and years of collecting things, and you lose it all. How are you going to feel about that? You're going to be decimated. I get it, because it's sentimental things, but you're going to say, I can't replace that. Yeah, of course you can replace it. But you see, what the emotional reaction of losing everything, that is because you're attached to it. That's what human beings do. Oh my God, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. Yeah, the emotions you give off is because you're afraid of losing your attachments. So the benefit of not having attachments is there's nothing to lose. It's not for everybody though. Because I've done enough readings I've seen where people are born to be extremely wealthy. I've done readings for extremely wealthy people. That's what they're supposed to be doing. That's how God's using them to experience this reality through wealth. Nicholas says money is so gay. Well, why would you say that? What's the point of that? I think money's amazing. I have respect for it. It's a tool. Saying money to, well, and I'm not trying to point you out here and belittle your comment, because your comment's your comment. But to me, that's like saying to a carpenter, your saw is gay. That chisel you got, man, that's so gay. Why would you say that to a carpenter? That's my favorite saw, dude. That thing, I build houses with it. So for me, money is a tool like a saw is to a carpenter. And I don't go around telling the carpenter his saw is gay, or his saw sucks, or his saw is overrated, it's a tool. Money is a tool. And some of you are designed to have a lot of it. Some of you have a lot of it. Some of you will have a lot of it. It's what you do with it when you get it in your possession. And again, it comes with a lot of responsibility when you have a lot, because when you have a lot of money, again, you're going to want to spend it. You're going to want to, let's go shopping. And then this rush of dopamine goes in your brain, because I can buy whatever I want. Let's go get this amazing watch. Let's get this necklace. Let's go buy this new car. And now it's liability, because now you got to insure the car. You got to insure the jewelry. You got to buy a safe to put all your stuff in. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying is there's attachments. Someone steals the car, you're going to get angry. You're going to give an emotional reaction off to the car. Oh my God, someone stole my freaking car, man. And you get pissed off because I love that car. Or something was in that car in the glove box that. So people get angry when they lose the attachments. And that's just how we're wired. So for me, I'm a minimalist. Is that forever? Not necessarily. And I think there are I had somebody say, someone made a comment, says, what did they say? I'm a higher end minimalist. What the hell is that? I have my definition of what it means to be a minimalist. You don't have to be living on the streets or living in the woods to call yourself a minimalist. There's going to be gradients to it. It was just, I wish I could pull the comment. It was pretty funny. I got a real chuckle out of it. Tone Deaf says, it's said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. Yeah. See, again, if I go like this, now I am forced to use my imagination, right? I have to focus on my imagination. I have to create images in my mind, and I can focus on those. But as soon as I open my eyes, there's the light. The light's the devil. And it stores information. And now I can start to create based upon what I see. And that's what most people are after. They're after the light. The light. That's why you're never going to hear me say I'm a light worker. I work in the light. Sure. But I also work in the dark too. I work more at night than I do anything else. I'm a night owl. I've always been that way. So yeah, when you close off your eyes, you go within, you become one with the divine, because now there's no distractions, right? As soon as you open your eyes, why do people start moving around at 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning? They start drinking their coffee, eating their breakfast, time to go to work, because they're following the patterns of the sun. That's what they do. They're mimicking the sun. The sun's up. The rooster will tell you that the boss is here. The rooster will tell you, hey, the boss is here, time to get going. And then you start your day. You're talking about diurnal, where you work during the day. You follow the patterns of the sun becoming. You go out there and you do things that's why the majority of people work during the day. You do have the night shift, yeah. There's a lot of people that do that. Some of you here are doing that, but they say to mimic the sun pattern because that's where you're going to get the most bliss. I don't agree, but Apocalypse Now is asking, what's my birth card? The 8 of Spades and the King of Clubs. Most of us have two cards. See, I'll show you, so you could take a gander at it. So once you find your birth card in here, here's the 12 months and the 31 days running vertically. Once you find your birth card, so here I am right here, February 4th. There's my birth card. Okay, right here, 8 of Spades. But this is not my only card. So then I just go to the chart for the cards, and here it is. This is the boilerplate chart for the cards. Over to your right is called the Master Life Configuration. This is ground zero. So you locate your card, and there's my card right there. And then over here is the card that's called your spirit card. I call it the handler card, the one that runs and operates you. And I don't focus on this card anymore. I haven't for a long time. This is my ego card. I'm interested in my spirit card, which is right here. This is the one I resonate with more now than I do with this, the King of Clubs. So I recommend to all of you, when you feel the urge, you read from both and you make the determination, are you going to make the leap over to this side? Because this side never moves. It's fixed. So I encourage all of you to look at this side. And there's a lot of ways to look at it. Okay? So, there's a lot of ways to look at it. Where am I at? Okay. Coincidence theorist says my car got stolen, fully paid off, no insurance. Why would you not have insurance on it? You weren't driving it? I mean, normally that's when nobody has insurance. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a big item, right? Like, oh my God. And then there's a story behind that. Like, it took me months and months and months to pay it off, and then somebody rips it off. There's a lesson in there. When you get really refined, you will not get emotionally involved with the outcome. And that's a tall order. So if you can't escape the emotional reaction you'd have when somebody steals something from you, then probably you shouldn't own it. That's my take on it. Like I don't own a car. I have, of course. I've had cars in my plenty. But I have a bicycle. I have this beater bike, spray painted black. I love it. And I don't even chain it up. I don't lock it up. I ride it around town. It gets me everywhere. I have so much gratitude for that thing. It's maybe worth $100, maybe $50. It's not even. The advantage of having that is I can leave it out. I don't have to chain it up. I don't worry about it. And if someone steals it, they needed it more than I did. There's going to be a lesson in there for me on that. Maybe they needed the bike. Maybe they have kids and they just can't afford it and they stole the bike and whatever. But I've had the thing for years and it's done me so good. But I get it. I mean, if I had a car and it was, I've had a car stolen as well. So I know what that feels like. I've had a car stolen. And it was a lot of money. And I remember looking back, the emotional roller coaster that I went through, how angry I was. I was completely like asleep back then. How angry I was. And it was years. And I just let it go because it's like, tried to get it back. And it was just, and I know who took it. Sent it overseas. Didn't get paid for it. It's a long story, but Apocalypse Now is asking, did I decode graphene oxide? I did decode that. It's on the Patreon. Yes. I have decoded the molar mass. Decoded it. Yep. It's in, I can't remember the name of the decode. It's in a decode on the Patreon. I don't remember which one it is, but I have decoded that, yes. Debbie Kennedy asks, can you look into decoding vaping? I could tell, I don't even need to. I would imagine you or somebody that's close to you does it. I can tell you right now, it's unhealthy for you. So, I mean, so is eating potato chips every day. So it's a habit. It's not a beneficial habit. And, you know, like potato chips, and I say that because those were like my go-to for junk food. It's like my favorite, but I barely eat them anymore for various reasons, but I love them. But if I ate them every day, I'd pay the price. So if you're somebody who vapes, you probably do it every day, and you're going to pay the price with it because it's very unhealthy. But I'm not saying it's bad. Potato chips are very unhealthy, but I'm not going to say they're bad. It's just food that's going to make you decay faster. So there's really nothing to decode on vaping other than it's nicotine and water and oil or whatever they put in it. Rat King's asking a question. I don't understand this question. You said, the Eye of Ra scares me, and I think he's onto something. I don't know if you're talking to me. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're talking to somebody else in this chat. Nicholas Hernandez, can you decode canola oil? Another oil that I would stay away from. You know, for me, it's coconut oil, or I'm a huge olive oil fan, but it's got to be real olive oil. There's a lot of fake olive oil out there. On average, Joe is asking about cannabis and mushrooms. Yes, I have decoded cannabis. That is out on the public YouTube on this channel, and mushrooms is out on the Patreon. Yeah, Kilt says I get the Boulder Canyon avocado oil chips from Costco. Yeah, it's only 3 ingredients. Absolutely, but it's still fried, bro. They're still fried. So see, I get it. You'll just like I'd look at it and say, oh, I'm going to justify it. Potatoes, that's a root vegetable. Avocado oil, that's good. And sea salt, yeah, but they heat it up, changes the molecular structure, and it's fried. So no matter what, it's going to be a fried food. And I listen, I'm just calling it like it is. I'm a huge chip fan. It's my favorite food is like chips and pizza. Rusty Woodpecker's asking about your awesome dog, Rusty. It's too challenging to give. I mean, go look at his birth card, January 6th. But, I mean, you're talking about getting into it. You have to look into astrology, and it would be like doing a full-blown decode on somebody. You'd have to do it that way. So, when the course comes out, You can opt to get the course and you can decode your dog yourself, Rusty, and you'll see. And I know it works. What about ayahuasca? Well, it's a tool. Mushrooms, DMT, ayahuasca, bufo, these are all tools. But I think that doing it, I think doing it too much puts you in a trance. That's my take on it. And when I say cannabis, like I'm a fan of it. I think the feeling that it gives you is unparalleled. But when you do it every day, you put yourself into a hypnotic trance. And I see it in people. Because now what you do is you get into an altered state of consciousness, right? And you get put into a trance. And then when you come out of the trance, you realize, well, shit, I like it better when I'm in the trance. So you'll hit it again. And that's how people end up smoking all the time, because life becomes very boring when you're not in the trance. That's what pot does to you. Marijuana puts you in a trance. That's why we say I get high. It's a trance. And that's from the earth. So it's like you're grounding yourself to the earth. And again, I say that with all due respect and with having no attachments to what I'm saying here. Like I'm not saying it's bad or I'm saying it's good. But what I am saying is that cannabis, what's the difference between cannabis and heroin? They're both plants, or garlic, or ginger. What's the difference? They're from the earth. So if there's a thing about ascension, to leave this place, that means that you would stop doing the things that are keeping you in a trance. That's at least how I would at least consider to look at it. Suggestions. I'm not saying I'm right, because I know that there are those of you here that think I'm completely full of it. That's totally cool. Like, you don't agree. I totally get it. You know why you don't think you agree? Because you smoke or you ingest cannabis. So you'll do what every one of us does. You will defend what you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Whatever it is that you do, you'll defend it. Or not even defend it, or you'll say, I don't agree. And I'll tell you why I don't agree. And there'll be an attachment, and it'll be like, because when I was doing it, I'll tell you straight up, it's like medicinal for me. I would say that to people. Like, anybody that knows me, that gets to really hang out with me, will tell you, Logan is way more fun if he's on cannabis. And that is absolutely a fact. Like, I get super animated. Like, I want to do I told people I want to do, and I'm still planning on doing it. I'm going to do a What's Your Question on cannabis. And you're going to see a different side of me. I get really animated, and I get in the zone, man. That's what it does. It puts you in the zone because you're in a trance. So there's perks, there's benefits to it, obviously. But when you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it, and now you're doing it more than you're not, now you're under the trance all the time. I don't know. Is that a positive thing in your life? You know, I understand that there are people that take it for medical reasons, you know. So there's that. So I get it. See, even Fanuel says, I smoke, but I'm trying to stop. It's a struggle. I get it. Yeah. Why is it a struggle? Because you like the way it makes you feel. Why do people struggle quitting alcohol or smoking cigarettes? Because they like the way it makes them feel. Why do people have a tough time quitting drinking coffee? What happens when you stop drinking coffee, man? You get headaches. Oh my God, I don't want to deal with the freaking headaches. So you'll have a cup of coffee. Caffeine withdrawals, you can get headaches. That's from the earth. Caffeine's the number one stimulant consumed every day. The number one, coffee is. It's a legal stimulant. And what happens when you take the stimulant? You go out there and I can do more shit. Now I can be more active in this world. I can create more things. I can get busy. I can make more money. I can buy more things. What is coffee's purpose? A stimulant to get you going, to get you wired so you can get on the phone and do your calls, so you can go and sell something, so you can go and buy something, so you can get on there and finish your project, because you got to do that, because you got to. So it's all about the game of life. These tools. Coffee is a tool to play the game of life. Yeah, so Lane, you say the same thing. People tell you that you're more fun to be around when you're on it. I mean, yeah, that's a thing with me. Like, and when you hear that, when you hear and you get feedback from people that say, "Oh my God, you're so much better on cannabis," and then you actually confirm that by the way you feel while you're on it, why would you stop? I want to be like this permanently. Why do you think people want to live forever? Because they're afraid to die, number one, but oh my God, life's kind of fun. If you're on a good one, you don't want to stop. You're going to ride that wave as long as you can. Master of Thy Cosmos says, I'm quitting smoke. I smoke too much that I don't even feel like I'm in a trance anymore. Yeah, it's like one cup of coffee leads to two. And now I'm drinking 3. Because it doesn't have the same zip anymore. Christy Belly's asking about the toad medicine. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing too, right? Is doing the bufo or the 5, whatever. I mean, you're essentially using an animal to go into an altered state of consciousness. I mean, if we really think about it, like, okay, let's do some frog medicine. Why would you do that? Well, because I need to go and have an altered experience. I need to have an out-of-body experience. That's how people do out-of-body experiences. If they're not doing it natural, what do you think you're doing when you're smoking pot? You're getting into a trance. It's like you may not physically or mentally go out of your body, but you're having this a different experience. Rach Ross says, DMT changed my life. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that, and she says, but God, this place is hell. See, so when you come out of the trip, when you come back to earth, and you wake up, or you snap out of it, and now you're telling the story, is like, oh my God, this place is hell. How did you know it's hell? Because I went into this altered state of consciousness. But okay, so stay in that altered state of consciousness then. Why would you want to come back to this place? Well, the simple answer is I need to take more. See, I don't have to take anything to stay in this consciousness. I just wake up every day. I have to take no drug, no food, no water, nothing to stay in this reality, in this consciousness. But then if you do an out-of-body experience, I don't do those kinds of things, whatever. I think it's the same as dreaming. I think OBE is just like dreaming. It's the same thing. It's just a different fancy word. But see, in order for you to tell me about what you vision in the OBE, you got to be in this reality. You got to come back here and tell me, hey, you wouldn't believe what I saw. Oh, tell me. I saw this and I saw that. Well, how do you know it's real? How do you know what is real when you go out of your body? Because you went out of your body and that's the authority to say that that's the reality that we need to be in? I don't know, kind of sounds absurd. And when you get into that altered state of consciousness, OB, you're going to see a ton of different visions. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Just like having a dream, it doesn't mean it's going to come true. I don't know. I talked about this on the last one. There's this surge in OBEs, and I just think it's a fun topic, and I don't belittle anybody's experiences. I honestly just think it's BS. And it's not because I don't do it. It's just because, again, if someone's talking into the camera, telling you about OBEs, they're in this reality that we're all in right now. So how much value does this reality have? You got to tell me your story in this reality about the thing you did outside of this reality. See, I think the magic, okay, cool. Go outside of this reality and then go tell somebody in that reality about what's going on in this reality. Let's see you do that. Not going to happen. It's just a dream, man. It's a vision. It's tryptamine, right? Tryptophan, tryptamine. That's all it is. Altered state of consciousness. Some people use supplements, drugs to do that. Root, flower, whatever. Some people go to, like me, I go to sleep. I have dreams. Same thing. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Some people have visions, prophetic visions. They get downloads. Okay, cool. Rach Ross says, how do we know this is real? We don't. I'll tell you right now, this reality is not real. It's a movie. It's real to us. Like, you can really feel that. So it's super real. You can't even tell, but it's a simulation. Simulation meaning that we're living through our scripted reality. That's what a simulation means, by the way. People pass this word around, but what does simulation really mean? Well, when you do a simulation, if you're somebody who inputs code into a computer and you tell the computer, okay, here's scenario number 1. This is happening. These people are going to be doing this. This is going to happen here. This is going to, and this, okay, you put it into the computer. Okay, give me some scenarios. This is what they do on wars. Okay, they're going to go over here. There's going to be all these tanks over here, and then they have a computer spit out what the simulation is going to pump out. This is going to happen here. This is going to happen there, and the percentages of it happening this way are going to be this, based upon what? Information. So the more information you have, the better the outcome or more accurate the outcome is going to be, which is why our data has been collected over all these years. And they know everything about you. Everyone here, even if you don't have a cell phone. You have places you go, you have gas you pump, you visit stations, the credit card you swipe. Those are all markers. Anyways. But that's what simulation is, folks. Simulation is like your birthday, being born into this world, you're running through the computer, right? It was already scripted for you. That's why when you study astrology and numerology and human design and Enneagram, you're going to start to see, holy shit, this is like super accurate. How is that possible? Because your screenplay, your birth, your whole lineage of your birth is inside this reality and it's playing out. It's like putting on your favorite song and pressing play. And if you don't touch it, it's going to go all the way through till the end. That's a simulation. A song is a simulation. You put the song on and it just goes all the way through from zero to the finish of the song. That's running the song. That's running the simulation. That's your life. The song has different instruments. Your life has different experiences. Your life has a span to it. A song has a span to it. People sing in a song. We talk in our reality. Sometimes we sing. So our reality are simulations, and it's just like a song. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm not going to go long on this one because I started so late. Some of you comments are funny. A lot of agent Smiths in this reality. It could be one of your best friends. They don't even know it. I think we're all agents when we're born into this world. What constitutes being an agent? Just you're a distraction. That's it. You're a distraction. Distraction how? Somebody comes along, let's go on a date. Distraction. That's going to be a distraction for sure. Because you get all this work to do, and you know what people do to go on the date? Because they're feeling like they want to get a little something, they'll just cut work. So now the sacrifice is I'm going to go, and now the distraction of going on a date, and again, I want to be clear, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. This is life. But we're all agents at some point. Every single one of us here has been an agent. And some of you are still living that life. Agents are distractions. The matrix needs you, the earth, the matrix, it invites you, coerces you into playing. That's what it does. To get a reaction from you. Some of you tomorrow or today, you're going to get angry from something that somebody did. And if you're consciously aware, maybe you can look at that person in your mind now and think, is this person an agent? Because what does an agent do? It makes you engage in the matrix. That's the job of an agent. It makes you engage in the matrix. Oh, just come watch the football game. Come on, man, come watch the game. The game's on, let's go. And you don't think anything of it. Okay, cool. You go down and you watch the game and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden somebody that's really attractive, you meet somebody that's really attractive, and now they want to get a little something. That's an agent. They don't even realize it. I'm telling you, man, sex is the tool for the agent. And kissing and holding and oxytocin and dopamine, that's all agent, those are all agent tools. All of it. And again, I'm not saying it's good or bad. So you have agents all around, and the agents, all they're trying to do is just live life and be happy and get some and earn money and buy crypto and buy presents for their kids and invite you over for the barbecue. But once you get over there for the barbecue, now it's like, hey, what are you doing next week? Let's go here, let's go there. That's distraction after distraction after distraction, trying to take you away from what you could be doing. That's what an agent is to me. And we've all been agents. All of us. And the agent is necessary for this reality because, again, this reality, folks, is this. This is the card of Jesus. When Jesus tells you, if you follow me, you'll have eternal life. So let me give you a big truth bomb. I put this out on the Patreon, and it's an entire decode, but I'm gonna leave you with one big bomb. And it's something I didn't pick up on it. In John chapter 3 verses 15. Let me just show it to you. I just want to show it to you so you can see it with your own two eyes. The very first time Jesus talks about this word right here. Let me just get the John 3:15. The very first time Jesus saying, this is John, whoever believeth in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Okay? There's that scripture. Then you go to this one. So this is the serpent on the scene now. And the serpent, this is the very first scripture, and he says, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman says, we can eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but we can't have the tree of in the middle, because we'll die. Oh, well, what does the serpent say? You shall not surely die. You ain't gonna die, man. Well, if you're not gonna die, what does that mean? What does it mean if you're not going to die? Doesn't that mean you'll have eternal life? Because the serpent's clearly telling the woman, you ain't gonna die, lady. And you shall be a god. What does Jesus say? Didn't I tell you that ye are gods? That's what Jesus says. Didn't I tell you that you are gods? This is the serpent saying, you shall be a god. You will not die. If you believe in me, you will have eternal life. That's the same frickin' thing, folks. I'll let you make what you want to make of it. Okay? That's as far as I'm going to go with that. That's all I'm going to show you. So you could start to use your thinking caps and put it into perspective. I never put the two together. But now I have. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of tabs open. I got a Mac, man. My Mac can handle it. Someone's asking me about skip timelines. Time jumping. Well, I think it's possible. I don't have any knowledge on it. I'm very ignorant in that area. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's in a lot of movies, a lot of shows. So it's a thing, perhaps. I've never been shown how to do it. I don't have the formula for it. But I think it's possible. I don't dismiss it and say it's not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the tail end of this here. This is one of my shorter ones, but it's late, and I did this last minute. So let me shuffle these tarot cards, get you a couple tarot cards for messages, and wrap this sucker up. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it. That star card pops out. All right. Let's see what kind of messages I got for all of you. Rusty Woodpecker, have I decoded H2O? Yeah, that means atom. I have decoded H2O. It's in one of my decodes on the Patreon. H2O, hydrogen 2, and oxygen, that's atom, the first man. Why? Because hydrogen and oxygen is the alpha and omega. The alpha and omega is H2O. And H2O is hydrogen, the sun, and oxygen, the air that we breathe. So when it says God breathed into the nostrils, the Spirit of God breathed into Adam, that's the sun, the Spirit of the sun breathing into and providing oxygen. And oxygen is oxygenes. Hydrogen is hydrogenes. And it's water forming. Hydrogen is water forming. See, the reason why we die is because oxygen is what oxidizes. You have free radicals. You ever have a paint on your car oxidized from, what does it oxidize from? The sun. Hydrogen and oxygen. That's the alpha and omega. H2O. And water is Adam. That's why the body is made up of primarily water. The biology of the body. Everything runs on water. If you don't drink water, you'll die because the water is essential so you don't turn into a desert. Because everything, the flesh, the skin, it's all water-based. And that's hydrogen, the sun, and oxygen, the spirit, the air. The air that you breathe into your lungs. Hydrogen and oxygen. And everybody in this reality is a character. You're playing out a role, non-player character. You're playing out a role. It's not real. It's a simulation. Absolutely. It's a hologram. You could say all that stuff. Yeah. It's Maya. If you watch, I didn't get a lot of traction on it, but go watch my decode on Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. That those control Maya. Maya is the grand illusion. That's why nobody's wrong. Everybody's right. Everybody's having this grand illusion. So why go out there and try to push against people and tell them that they don't have it right? What is the objective for that? People that are out there trying to debate and defend and say that someone's wrong, what is their objective? Why are they doing that? Once you know the answer to that, you know how that person operates. When you get really good and you get refined and it was part of your code, you'll stop doing that nonsense. It's a bunch of malarkey. Because you realize this whole thing is Maya. And it doesn't matter if someone is actually creating a fabricated story. It's no different than the story that really happened. It's all just Maya. It's all just an illusion, a dance. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But people give it so much meaning and they weigh it down by definitions and matter that it becomes very lead-like and dense-like. Stuck in time, Saturn lead, pulled down in time. But ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a dance of a simulation that's called Maya. That goes all the way back to Sanskrit, man. And probably farther than that, but it's the dance of Maya. So Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades, they create Maya. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they create Maya. The Yod creates Maya. Ra creates Maya. Allah creates Maya. It's all an illusion. These deity names, it's just the dance of the Maya. And Maya is dualistic. It's dualistic. That's why it's tied to the serpent, because what comes out of a serpent's mouth? The letter Y. If you look at a serpent's tongue, it's forked. That's duality, coming out of its singularity, and it branches off into two. That's Maya. So eternal life in Maya. That's what Jesus and the serpent were talking about. One and the same. Not a bad deal, though. If you like your life and you want to do it again, beautiful. But it's Maya, man. The vision, the dream. Life is but a dream. Maya is the dream. We're in a dream. It's amazing, folks. It's so. I can't even put it into words how beautiful the whole Maya thing is. And the culture of Hinduism and Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and then you go into mythology. I'm a huge fan of all these cultures. All of them, because they all tell the same story in a different poetic way. Religion, same thing. Religion is mythology. Mythology is cosmology. It's all the same crap. So nobody has it wrong. Everybody has it right. They're just telling it a different way, according to how they're programmed, how their code, how the divine is using them. And why the divine has all these different variables, because it causes friction and resistance, which causes energy explosions, which feeds this reality, which is a battery. Maya needs charge to continue on, because essentially it's the light game. How do you turn the lights on in your car? The battery does that. The battery is what turns the lights on in your car. So you can see the dashboard. Some of you don't have lights on your dashboard. You drive at night, you can't freaking see, man. That's dangerous, right? But the lights come like, whoo, okay, now I can see where I'm going. That's how valuable light is. In the simplistic example of having a dash light out on your car could be a nightmare. So we're living in Maya, folks. You're living in the grand illusion. And everybody is right. Don't try to get it twisted. Go around and listen to people that try to. I've already said this before. If following people that are out there to debate, following people that think that they're superior to everybody else, those people, I wouldn't be following those people. They haven't figured it out yet. They might. And again, I'm not telling you this, man. I'm channeling this information. It's not me telling you this. But I know this is how it works, man. I'm confident in this. The source and the code and the breaking of the code already supports everything I'm telling you. And this is a win-win for everybody, because then when everybody gets to be right, there goes the resistance. There's no reason to debate anymore. I don't even need to defend myself. I don't need to debate. I don't need to tell you that you're wrong and I got it right. It's irrelevant. We're both right, and we can hug, shake hands, and have a good time. And you get to go tell your stories to your audience that will follow you. So you get the pats on the back, and you get your likes and subscriptions, and you get your money that people will pay, and I get to go do what I'm going to go do. But the divine is using all of us simultaneously at the same time, having all these visions, all these holographic visions. It's an illusion, the simulation, all these fit into the context. And at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. There's no winning this. There may be a way to get out. But folks, this is why, I don't do a lot of stuff anymore. I don't join with a lot of people. I don't follow a lot of people because I just see a lot. When I start seeing people bicker, when I start to see people argue and they're trying to put people down and say, oh, they're wrong and I'll show them, and they haven't got it figured out. They haven't figured it out yet on how this reality works. It's just a big grand illusion, man. So the storyteller that is a fiction story is the same as somebody who's nonfiction. It doesn't matter. The movie that you watch on the telly and someone gets shot is the same as somebody getting shot in our reality. Because somebody's watching this, we're watching that. It's all fractals. And it's a grand illusion, man. It's just a grand illusion, and it's just a fun reality. It becomes a cosmic joke. The dance, the Joker. There's nothing to figure out. Life's already figured out, man. At the end of the day, even though we decode and we break stuff down and we code break and we do numbers and we do pattern recognition, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You're being used to do that, man. We're like slaves to the code breaking, slaves to this and slaves to that, if you want to look at it that way. But what's the fun in just sitting around and say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to be like this, and this is not fun. So there's engagement in the reality because there's no choice in the matter. Anyways, I went on a huge rant there. So there's nobody that's wrong, folks. All these deity names, all these characters, all these gods, they you know why? They all exist. They're all real. All of them. Everything that's happened in history really happened. And everything that didn't happen in history really happened. If there's a story attached to something, it really happened. Even if it's quackery or bullshit, it really happened because somebody really told the story. It's at the end of the day, man, it's all entertainment. I'm going to show you something. Where am I going here? Not that one. Yeah, this one. Numerology. It's all this. Entertainment. That is what we're being used for because life is but a dream. The dream is entertainment, man. We are entertainers down here. And once you get this concept, you are free. You're free, man. But if you want to go out there tomorrow and you want to tell somebody that they're wrong, and you want to tell somebody that they ain't got to, oh, my truth is superior to yours, you don't know what the frick you're talking about. You're a dumbass. You haven't figured it out yet. You're so anchored into the illusion you can't even see it. You're so anchored into it. Once you let all that go, you start to just observe, you become so free. You start to cut all these cords. And the cords are the attachments to trying to prove people wrong. You cut all those cords and you just like go away. You just go do you, man. I'm just going to have fun watching you and your entertainment because that's what I am to people. Entertainment, right? Like, yeah, I'm giving you information. It may be valuable for you. It may not be valuable for you. But we're entertainers, folks. And this is the dream of the cosmos. It's the simulation. It's the Maya. And everybody is doing their part on an individualistic layer. And we fight because it causes energy exchange, man. That's why. That's how that's how your cells move your body. It gets called ATP. ATP is what fires and the cells, and they provide energy, and you get to, this is how I'm moving around doing this podcast with all of you, is by ATP. Well, when you come together with somebody and you say, yeah, you're this and you're that, it's the same. You're causing cells to, you're giving explosions by your emotions, and you're getting harvested that energy. So when you become very peaceful and woo-saw, and you detach from all these cords that you have to other people of where you once thought that they were wrong and you were superior and you're right and they ain't got it figured out and your way is better. When you cut all those cords, you're absolutely free at that point, to the fullest extent of being free, because now there's nothing weighing you down, because you realize that this reality is Maya, man, and it's a joke. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And this reality, ladies and gentlemen, is based on unconditional love. And the unconditional love is based upon everything goes. That's unconditional. Unconditional is everything gets to happen. That's unconditional. And it's Maya. If you woke up and you were able to come out of this reality and look at it and say, what you're looking at, what you've been playing, it's not freaking real, man. It's an illusion. You're doing a dance down there. You're just a projection. You would be doing way different things. You would be doing way different things. It wouldn't matter to you. It wouldn't matter people's opinions. It wouldn't matter what someone's doing over there. But I'm telling you, there's agents everywhere, and they want to get you engrossed into the Maya, into the illusion, to the duality, because the game needs players. It needs people like you and I to go. You can't just all sit like this and do nothing. How does a sports team play another sports team? You got to get on the court, or you got to get on the ball field. Everybody, if you just sat in the dugouts or sat in the stands, there's no game. So we're in a game, and you need players in the game, and that's us. And we all have programs. We're all programmed by birth from the astrological wheel, the numerology, the enneagram, the cards, the tarot, all that stuff. You're already programmed. And then when you come into the same room with somebody and they have a different code, bam, you instantly have an energy exchange because, hey, I don't agree with what you're saying. And then you can get hostile, and that's great for whatever's harvesting this energy, because you're giving off tons of energy. The more anger and hate, Star Wars is like, yeah, feed the dark side, feed your anger. Yeah, because it's the same thing as love. It's feeding something. We live in a battery, folks. It's Maya. It keeps the thing going. Anyways. When you know that agents, if you can pick up on an agent tomorrow, when you go out after today, or if you're waking up you go out there, just consciously look for the agents. You'll see them. They're everywhere, and they don't even know it. Even the people that think they're awake, agents. There's great. Why? You can spot an agent a mile away. If they're trying to get you to engage in the game, agent. If they're trying to they push my buttons, agent. If they're trying to say you're wrong, agent. How can I be wrong when this is an illusion? People are agents and they don't even realize it. And we all can slip into that agent mode because we're programmed at such a heavy layer of our reality, where you go out into this world, somebody cuts you off when you're driving, and you instantly and automatically don't give it any thought, and you move to asshole. That's not being an agent, but you're now engaged in the game again. Then you may go chase after that person. What are you doing that for? All right. Anyway, I just ranted for a half hour. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a couple of card pulls. I'm gonna pull 3 cards, and I have nothing to really say here. I have no objective. Let's just see what the message is going to be off this card deck. Now, if you're new to this, I just tap my fingers over this, and I just slide a nail in there, and I pull a card out without looking. So I'm just going to slide and there's the card right there. The first card out of the 3 is what? What is this card? 26th card in the deck. The word house is 26. The house always wins. Yeah, it's the 4 of Wands. This is card number 17 in the Cards of Illumination. The word life, story, angel, matrix, this is all tied to this. I was just talking about that. This reality is the matrix. It's life. It's a story. It's your story. It's my story. Why am I defending my story? Because I'm programmed to defend it. Oh, you don't like my story? What's wrong with my story? Life's about looking good. And why do we defend our stories? Because we don't want to look bad. We always want to be right. We want to try to prove other people wrong. And why this is allowed? Because it's unconditional, but because it gives the battery energy. That's what it does. So 4 of Wands, card number 26, tied to Adam and Eve, the Yod He Vav He, source is 26. So we're starting this thing off with a bang right there. Iron, the element iron. So the 4 of Wands, the second card. Second card, what's the second card? What is this one going to be? Slide this sucker up. What is that? We got the 6 of Diamonds. What comes to my mind is Dolores Cannon. Those of you that are Dolores Cannon fans, this is her birth card. Nostradamus tied to this right here. See, Dolores, Nostradamus, what were they doing? They were feeding people information. The quatrains with Nostradamus, Dolores Cannon, past life regression, tapping into other universes, the Pleiadians, whatever she was doing, I have no idea. She's influencing you through Maya. Distraction. But anyway, the 6 of Diamonds. 6 is tied to carbon. This is I want. This is a physicality aspect, or giving it away, in this case, 6 of Diamonds. So we have the 4 and the 6 here. Let's see if we can get another card here, what the message will be. I have no idea, but that card, this card right here is a card heavily tied to the divine. This is card number 70, and the 7th pentagram number is 70. If you add up all 7 pentagram numbers, it's going to give you gold. It's going to give you 196, platinum and gold. So the 6 of Wands, and then the 6 of Diamonds, and the final card here. And I'm going to add up the cards and see if there's a message there with the numbers. The final card is... Come on, man. Bam! It's the freaking dreamer card. Hello. Life is but a dream. There it is, man. I mean, see, folks, you think I'm in control of my reality right there? I'm channeling this stuff, man. I'm telling you. This is the simulation. This is the Mars energy, the revolution. Card number 62. Life is but a dream equals 50. This converts into the 62nd card. The 50th card is the Jack of Spades. This is the Knight of Swords, Jack of Spades. I'm just showing you that. Entertainment right there. Like, woo, let's go do it. The Mars energy is the drive to create the desire to create the simulation. This is tied to the sons of God. In Genesis 6 verses 2, tied right to the sons of God. The story of them, hey, we created these females down there in that simulation. They're pretty hot. Let's go down there. Let's go marry them, have kids. Let's go have sex and see what that feels like. Spirit into matter, into Maya. The house always wins. The house always gives. And the house always creates with the simulation. Maya. Let me just add these up. I mean, the code is so ridiculous, man. 62, 70, and 26. 158, and 158 is tied to this 664. 158 was the total we got. There it is right there. 158. 62 plus 70 plus 26 is 158. Let me just show you what this connects to. You ready? Go to the periodic table. Who has the 158 for their atomic mass? The GD element, of course. There's the 158 right there. You're on television. Come on, folks. This is what all the cards added up to, 158. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying here, folks? I rest my case. We're so dialed into this now, this is ridiculous. So please, man, tomorrow when you wake up, look for the agents and just laugh when you see them. They don't even know it. And remember that you were an agent, and you will still play the life of an agent at times in your life. You will distract people. You will get them to engage into the matrix again. We're all guilty of it. When you get good, when you get good and you're refined, you step back and you start looking at these people and you're like, first and foremost, you have gratitude because you're like, I'm glad I didn't get that code. But then you start cutting cords. And some of you have to cut a lot of cords in your life of the people you're following, the people that you're being influenced by. You know, I'll give you an example. Somebody asked me to decode the whole Billy Carson, the West, that whole debate thing. And I was like, no thanks. I went and looked at it for a couple minutes. I thought it was funny. Billy Carson. I've been asked to decode that guy. What is Billy Carson doing? Telling his story. Oh, I know, but those things don't exist and the Emerald Tablets don't. Who gives a shit? It's just a story, man. It's freaking Maya. He's an influencer. He's trying to make it. He's trying to pay his bills like you. Who gives a shit? And then this guy, Wes, whatever, he's marketing for the Christians, right? Religious guy, doing his job. Who cares? Great. Good job, Wes. You get to stand up and say, yeah, I beat Billy Carson. Great. What do you get out of that? Well, we get bragging rights as Christians because I got to prove him wrong. Wow, amazing. Where do I sign up for that? No, it's ridiculous. These are agents stuck in Maya, man. They don't even realize it. Debating. You see people debating, man, walk the other way. That's just Maya at the highest level you could possibly imagine. Rusty Woodpecker, I don't know what you mean, man. Why would you call Billy a shill? Why would you judge somebody like that when they're just doing their job? I don't understand why you would state that. Could you tell me why? He's just doing his job. That's it. He's just a guy like you and I. I don't know why you would label it as that when you've never met him. I don't know. Something to really think about, man. I just ask you to consider, your judgments, because that is like you're just grounding yourself in Maya even more. You're just grounding yourself to Maya by labeling people and judging them and thinking that they're this and they're that. I mean, okay, great, you don't like him, but he's certainly not a shill. It's just a guy trying to distract you. That's it. He's just trying to distract you. When you start judging and labeling, guess what you're doing? You're grounding yourself into the Maya and you're just attaching it to, you now have a cord because now you're calling the guy a shill, and that's not neutrality. You're now polarized. You're being polarized into calling people names and judging them and putting titles on them. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Yeah, but so you say some direct and others misdirect. But why don't, okay, fine, but direct where? Misdirect where? Where are they misdirecting you to? Where are they directing you to? It's just an objective. I have an objective. You have an objective. Santos has an objective. Jordan has an objective. Jason Bashir has an objective. We all have objectives. We all have our own truths. And at the end of the day, that's it. That's about as far as we can go. It's about as far as you can go. So when you get to cut the cords and stop labeling and stop, you're free. You're free. You're not grounded. There's no chains attached to you. You're free. And you just let it go. And when somebody says Billy Carson, you're like, yeah, Billy Carson. Whatever. I get nothing when I hear the name. I listen. I can go on and listen to the guy. I get no judgments, man. He's just telling a story. I have no judgment. Zero, zilcho, nothing. Nothing. Just telling their story. And that means I'm free. Whereas a lot of people, they're angry. They're, yeah, he's this and he's that. And when he did the debate with Wes is, he's trying to do videos. Oh, look at what he did. And what are you doing that for? Because you're trying to get likes and subscriptions. You're trying to get more money. You're trying to get this. I get it. You're trying to do that. You're trying to do this. I totally get it. But every time you put a video out and you say this and you say that, you yank yourself down and you chain yourself down. And you become more engrossed in the Maya. So, all right. So that's what I got for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sending all of you a ton of love, and again, these are just my opinions and truths. I know I speak like I speak very confidently, and I have my truths, and I live them out, and I stand by them, and some are subject to change. But in some of your worlds, my opinion is meaningless. It doesn't have any bearing. It doesn't matter what I say. My truth is irrelevant in your life. You got to go do what you got to go do. So I appreciate each and every one of you here, and I'm grateful that we got to share some of this time together. A big shout out to Pamela, the moderator. Is she still? Pamela's here. Yeah. Pamela Swan, thank you for showing up and being here. Always here, never have to ask. Always just, she's here, she's everywhere. Some of you here are amazing people. All of you are amazing people. I meant to say it in a different way. But this has been a fun one. Big shout out to Poseidon. The deity name of Poseidon, that energy, whatever that energy, it's a Ponzi scheme. Whether the energy, Poseidon, the god of the water, Aquaman, all that stuff. And Zeus and Hades and Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva and all of them. I think they just all sit there. If they're all individuals, they're all just laughing, having a good time. Kind of like what they do in the WWE. Like I was a big wrestling fan growing up as a kid. And I didn't know, but, I watched enough documentaries where after the match, they're hanging out, having a good time. Whereas on the mat, they're killing each other. And I think that's what we do. On the mat, we're trying to kill each other. But I think we need to get it right. But then when we're off the stage, we need to be hugging and laughing and having a good time. And really be loving people to each other, or at least neutral, for God's sakes. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got. Let me see what I'm going to throw on for some music here. Let all of you text amongst yourselves, talk amongst yourselves. I have no idea what I'm going to play here. Let's see what it wants me to play. Here, I'll play the Feed the Wolf again. This is a great song. Feed the Wolf. Feed the Wolf is called Head of the Snake. This is the year, by the way, Head of the Snake is this year. 2025 is that you're at the head of the snake, man. Feed the wolf. We're at the head of it. So what's to come? Well, Maya, baby. So detach. That's my message for all of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for tonight, man. Thanks. What's your question? 93. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you later.
Spent so many years down on my knees, but guess I